Hey y'all, welcome back to a new video. I initially had a much different video in mind for this month, but in light of some things that have been going on here in Chicago recently, I just felt compelled to make this video instead. I have a few bullet points in mind of what I want to say, but for the most part, I really want it to be my raw thoughts that I want to share. By now, you most likely have heard about the wave of ICE raids happening around the country, and especially most recently, the immense ICE raids happening here in Chicago, affecting mostly, from what we've seen, the Latina community. And it started off downtown, more on towards the south neighborhoods in Chicago, but it's over time, it's started to delve into the north neighborhoods and so on and so forth. And it's gotten to the point where we've seen even legal citizens get detained. People who have no record of illegal activity or criminal record getting detained. And I've seen story after story of people being dehumanized, being mistreated, being stripped of their humanity, and just being seen as horrible people. And all of this hits extremely close to home for me. If you don't know, my parents came from Mexico when they were teenagers and were soon granted citizenship when they got a little older. But I've heard story after story growing up of the horrible circumstances that they were living in and the horrible things they went through that made their parents make the tough choice to come through, very tough circumstances to this country in hope of a better life for their kids and for their kids' kids. And especially hearing from my parents of the way they were bullied and harassed growing up, not knowing a single word of English. They didn't have Rosetta Stone or Duolingo or any of those other language learning apps to learn English. They had to learn by themselves. And just so many of the things that they went through growing up to get to where they are today. I see so much of my parents and what they went through, and my grandparents and what they went through, all of these immigrant stories and what all of these folks are going through. People who, even if they've gone about coming to this country the right way that many people say they should do, even for those people who did it that way, they are still living in fear for their lives. They're still at risk of being targeted by these groups that, from what I've seen, don't really have a methodology to how they're going about finding these people and detaining them. And it's gotten to the point where I've really started to feel unsafe going about the streets of Chicago. And, every time I see a car pass by that looks similar to a vehicle that ICE pops out of and detains what they deem to be people that should be apprehended, I get so nervous and my heart flutters, and I just get so scared. And I remember about a week or so ago, one of my friends texted me that ICE apprehended some folks, not even a 10-minute walk away from me. And I had plans to go out and do a lot of other things that day, but I just remember staying in because I was afraid that they might come this way. And I remember thinking to myself, they might detain me even though I have my passport on me, even though I have my driver's license on me, even though I have everything to show that I'm a legal citizen born here, that none of that may matter. And for many people, that hasn't mattered at all. And I remember just being in bed for what felt like hours that day, just being so scared. Scared for myself, scared for my family, scared for people that I know and love, scared that they may also face a similar story to what we've seen several times already in the past 2 weeks alone. What gives me hope, though, is seeing so many people stand up and support the community here in Chicago, support communities all across the country, support their neighbors, and stand up for those who are afraid of standing up, for those who maybe can't stand up for others. Like, it gives me a lot of hope that we will get through this. And then today was the No Kings protests across the country, and seeing the record number of people that have showed up here in Chicago, in New York, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, in support of standing up for immigrants, standing up for those who don't have the power to do so, for those who can't. I got very emotional seeing that, because I just think of many people who are like my parents and my grandparents coming here, or little kids who may not have a single clue as to what's going on. And next thing you know, they may lose their parent or their grandparent or their sibling, and have just been so stripped of their humanity. And I know so many people who will bring politics into this. At the end of the day, this is not a political issue. This is a human rights issue. It's about treating people with respect, treating people with empathy and compassion and humanity, because a lot of the people who are detained don't have any reason to be detained, but alas, here they are. And I know a lot of people who live in the suburbs of Chicago and see Chicago as one big, dangerous city. And I'll admit, when I grew up in the suburbs and saw what the news said about Chicago, for a great period of time, I believed that stuff. But for the past 6 years living here in Chicago, checking out so many of the different neighborhoods in this city, getting to meet so many more people of this city, it's not the quote-unquote hellhole that many people who still live out in the suburbs and say these things about the city make it out to be. It's a beautiful city of diversity and inclusivity and opportunity, and I just wish more people got to see what makes this city great. I wish I had more ideas to say about how to get through this, about how to push forward, but I think the only thing I can say right now is just keep having hope. Keep having hope that things will improve. And if you are in a position where you can speak up, please do. Thank you to those who have already done so and continue to do so. Hey all, so my camera just died, so I'm moving to my iPhone camera to finish this video. But what I'm going to say is just the best thing we can do right now is continue to have hope that things will improve. Continue to donate and support however we can, whenever we can. I'll include some links of some resources that I find in the description below. And please continue to stay alert and aware of what's going on. And so, yeah, that's the video for today. If you made it this far, thank you for watching. And until next time, be safe.